Welcome to Mechs on Deck, episode 31. Is GMK in trouble? But first, how you doing, Chewy?
Good, man. 31. You can now watch on the longest month an episode every day. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm good, man. I've been busy. These boxes are full of bacas. So that's been my life today in the last week. It's weird seeing like the same board 20 times. You're like, what's going to be in this package? You're like, oh, another baka. Who'd have thunk it? So,
It's like a keyboard meetup of just bacas.
of just bakas.
By yourself.
With and completely unbuilt too. So I think I'm good screwing in plates for a while, but
Yeah.
it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, I got good news today too that my OSA is making its way here to America in the next couple days. I should be getting that in the next couple weeks, so I'm really excited about that. So pretty freaking stoked to finally get to try that out. I know, Chewy, you are doing a build tomorrow. Is that correct? Tonight. That's right.
Tonight.
Tomorrow right now. But
yeah I don't. So it should be the baka. I'm like 99% sure. I just have to make sure. I didn't have time to I wanted to get everyone's stuff sorted before I figured out my own thing. I'm like 99% sure it's going to be the baka. If not, it will be a lubricante.
Ooh.
So, quick shout out to our sponsors, mechsondeck.dixiemech.com. Go pick up a GMK Dual Shot. Awesome set. Be sure to check that out. Zap Cables. You can go to Zap Cables, get yourself a DIY kit, or get in on one of his cable runs. He does some awesome cables, probably the best in the community. But if you want to make one yourself, they're actually quite easy to make. Not so easy to sleeve, but quite easy to make. And then last up, switchmod.net/mechsondeck will get you 4% off your lube and spring needs, as well as so you can get some keister keycaps like that. And he has got GMK Metaverse right around the corner. Round 2.
Starts mid January, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Also, don't forget to get on GMK Dual Shot running through the end of the month. It's about to hit MOQ on Dixie Mech. I know I was looking at it today. It's at about, I think, 130 or 120, something like that.
Yeah. So that's sales. Guaranteed. That's guaranteed to make.
So
yeah. But speaking of lubricante, that was is going to be for a customer of ours who is a frequent Discord user who I was talking to recently in the in some chat. We were doing some gaming and brought up this kind of whole episode. And not even, I mean, this stuff's kind of been happening, but we were talking. So shout out to Colt. Thank you. Because our conversation led to Osiris and I having a conversation about writing this episode, which is Trouble in Paradise. GMK has made a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I think this has probably happened a couple times, and maybe we just didn't know. Like,
isolated incidents.
Yeah, this is like an incident. It feels like was relatively small. Like when you well, we'll get into the incident, but when you look at it on a scale of like how many keycaps they put out, an isolated incident of one keycap having an issue, just like consistently one keycap, or well, seemingly non-consistently, it's not a like ginormous issue, but it is when we're talking about people who have spent their hard-earned cash, that Skrilla, towards these keycaps, and one of them's messed up. So
yeah. So first off, GMK. Why do you buy GMK? They have some of the best color options. They have some of the best color matching, and their quality is unmatched. Really, their legends are awesome and amazing and super crisp. I know that other companies, specifically talking about the cherry profile, other companies like EPBT and JTK have been trying to play catch up. They are doing a good job, but GMK has always been known. And I always tell people, look at the at sign. That's something that 001 Anthony told me, is you can always tell a good keycap by looking at the at sign and how crispy it is. And so that's why you buy GMK. And what's happened is some quality controlling issues have started to arise, and that is not really surprising. Um, you know, it stinks. You don't like to see it, but when you're having that many orders, and we kind of started with April with 8 sets going, and then the huge hit in June with like 1,500 sets of Oblivion hitting. They're just getting swamped with orders, and I know that they've bought a 4th machine so they can increase demand and production. But with that increase, quality control is going to become an issue. You can't. It's very hard to make 1,500 times what 100 something keys. So 15,000 keys perfectly every single time. So like I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's a third machine. I think they only currently have 2, and they're getting a
Maybe
third.
it's a third.
But yeah, they have been asked to do a lot this year, significantly more than they probably went into this year, assuming that they would do. Obviously every company does their planning for each year, and I'm sure GMK didn't think they were going to put out this many sets, this many base kits this year. They probably thought they were going to do not significantly less, but a good bit less. So as that production goes up, things start to degrade. Things start to come into play where you're having to QC maybe a little bit more. You're having to watch your machines. You're having to make sure that those are not getting to a point where they're having issues. And it seems like maybe that's slipped a little bit. Maybe there is some issues going on.
Mm-hmm. So the big issue that a lot of people have seen, a couple of users have talked about it on Geekhack, specifically with GMK waves, is that the escape key, it looks like the molding just failed. It looks like the molding screwed up, and what has happened is that the S and C are not aligned, and there's sizing issues, which if you think about, we'll get into this a lot, but I mean, escape keys used a lot. It's in every single set. So it's usually printed twice, if not 3 times per set. So not something super, it's not like it was an A key or something, or, maybe even something fewer than, a weird delete key somewhere. But you're going to see stuff degrade over time, like Cyrus said. And then on top of that, we did see, this is, a lot more of a QC check of, they missed I guess it's the fast forward button, the novelty key for the fast forward in a few of the kits. So unfortunate to see. Hopefully they make the right choice, and hopefully I don't see a world that we live in where GMK is just like, oops, our bad, tough. Like, they're going to fix it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think GMK will obviously fix it. I think right now with the waves one specifically, they're trying to grasp how large of an issue it is, because it's not on every base kit. I know Enjoy, he opened 3 of his kits and said that none of them had the issue. Both of us will be getting base kits of that. I don't know if I know Chewy's probably going to end up.
I think I'm going to wind up. I think I'm trading for something. I'm going to try and trade for something, but the issue I'm having, hold on, choking on water, because that's how I do, is it makes it difficult aftermarket because you can't sell sealed.
Well, it's one of those things too, because it's like people.
If I open it and confirm, then it's no longer sealed. So you can be like, oh, it's sealed, cool. Now I want money off.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that today. It's like you have the issue of like, all right, you put it up, you know, for a sealed GMK waves, right? And then people are like, well, can you open it up and check the legend? And it's like, no. Like, I mean, I think it's one of those things. We had an issue with that I don't think very many people knew because the salty cap set from Carbon didn't really sell a ton, where the what
Is
is
it
it?
terminal?
The terminal key
It was inverted.
was printed in the wrong way. It was inverted, so it was I don't have it right next to me, but
It was
it was meant to be. Here, let me grab it.
slowly watching Osiris turn around, grab things off of his table with his unplugged microphone.
Never mind, I don't know where it is. But basically, I have a salty cap here, so you can just kind of see. It was printed inversely, so it was supposed to be green on the outside and gray on the inside, and it was the opposite of that. It was gray on the outside and green on the inside. And GMK just they manufactured the single cap, put them in their little, like what you get novelties on, those little trays, sent it out to me, no charge, nothing. So I'm hoping that's what they do with these. Obviously, all of the vendors have your address. They know where to send these caps.
They know where you live. Or at least you get things shipped to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely an issue though. I think it's something that because it's something that didn't happen to all the kits, it makes you go back and look and say, okay, well maybe it is one of the molds that's having an issue. Maybe it's someone who was running that machine. Maybe they're new. Maybe they were training and there was an issue there and they didn't realize it. Because when you're doing these multi-letter keys, I feel like there's more going on there than if it's just a single legend,
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's just something that just kind of slipped by.
Well, it's tough. It GMK sets would be 3 times as much if they had someone going in and expecting every single key to a perfect key. Someone would be we would never get our sets on time. It would get ridiculous. You just kind of have to trust the process. And unfortunately, stuff like this is going to happen. It's going to continue to happen. There are other sets that are going to be affected by this because there are hundreds of thousands of keycaps that they are making. And there's not really a good way outside of, trusting the system to affordably QC every single thing. Now, I will say, putting the kits together, I don't know if it was, we made the fast forward cap, or and just didn't put it in some of the sets, or if it was, we just straight up didn't make it. Regardless, they'll fix it just like they fixed the salty cap, so I'm not worried. That one seems like on a smaller scale, since that kind of is packaged as a kit altogether. That one seems like that could have been prevented, but the escape key, I get it. I mean, you're really splitting hairs on trying. And of course, the first thing we're going to notice is it's a bright green key, and a lot of people like using the accents, so they're going to go, oh, I want to see that, and then they're going to inspect it, but. No harm, no foul. As long as they fix it, at the end of the day, it's not like they sent you a broken, unusable keycap. It's just going to look a little goofy and maybe drive you crazy. But
yeah, because we also saw a recent, like, very similar issue with Oblivion. I know that one was they sent some keys to Oblotsky to kind of review and do a QC on before they package everything up, send it all out. For the Git base kits specifically, those were a little bit like the legends on those were a little bit thicker, and it's still those smaller legends, but it just doesn't. It's not like it was cloudy, but it was just more. I don't know how to put it, but it was just not as crisp looking as what it was on the rest of the
Crisp,
keys.
crisp is the word of the day.
Yeah.
Crisp.
And then they did have an issue where the Hello World keycap was misaligned, like in terms of the Hello World was misaligned, and GMK has come out and said that they're basically anything that went out that had a Hello World cap, it's going to get replaced. They're going to send that out to people. So if you have one of those, the replacement key will get shipped out to everyone once they're done in January. So
hopefully January, which leads us to our next little topic that we've talked about. We are a community of delays. We are delays are to be expected. If you're new to this community, this is one of the first episodes you're watching from us. Don't be surprised if something gets delayed, because calling it out, Dracula is going to get delayed. If it doesn't, it's a miracle. But I mean, you can't. GMK's used to go, oh yeah, we can make 400, 500 sets by that time. So no problem, let's do it. 3,000, I'm sure when they got that order, I don't know if they pay attention to the live updates, but they're like, answer me like, what? Oh, it's gonna be a good selling set. Okay, 800, 1,000, 1,200. And like, oh, 3,000. Awesome, cool. New deadline. Like, expect delays, but we are seeing more and more of them.
yeah, and I think that's something like I think people are pretty used to delays in terms of like keyboard group buys because it happens. I feel like it happens a lot more. Key set group buys for a long time, if they were delayed, a lot of times it was because of color sampling and that taking a significant period of time in order to get that right. I think what we're seeing now is we're seeing a lot of delays from the GMK side, which is interesting and different than what we've had in the past. Like this isn't a like designer issue, more or less, like, or a, hey, we're just taking extra time to make sure we get it perfect. I think hopefully we don't know how the new machine and the additional workers that they have, because I know they've hired some new people. I don't know how that's going to affect the keycaps that have run so far, like in the latter half of this year. But it does kind of speak volumes that things that came out in April and May and into June aren't shipped yet, and they're getting delayed. We found out today that, which is a fairly late, that GMK Olive is getting delayed for another month. I know they were hoping to have it done and sent out this week. I think the plan was it to be sent out on the 18th, and so that would be Wednesday. And it's not getting sent out until January now. So that's 2 months delayed now, which is not upsetting. It's understandable. They're doing a ton. Like, they're doing a ton of work over there. And it's one of those things, if they're delaying it to get it right, if maybe they caught one of these issues with these molds and now it's putting delay on everything and they're making sure they fix it, no harm, no foul. Do what you need to do. Make it perfect. I don't care. I can wait. But I'll be interested to see how the additional machines and everything, and all the additional people, how that affects the timelines, and if that could affect QC. That's my other thing, is when you start hiring more and more people, you run the risk of having your QC go down. You've got people who are new working shifts, maybe with someone else who is new, and you're maybe not looking at the caps the same way you would before. Maybe someone has a different idea of what's okay than what used to be okay. So it's going to be kind of an interesting thing to see. It'll be
well, growing pains.
Yeah.
They have to be extremely public, and people, the thing to take away from delays and issues and all that, don't get mad.
Yeah.
Like, going and freaking out about it. If you might have that first, like, wait, what the heck? What's this? It's going to get fixed. Like, it's GMK. Yes, there are definitely group buys where things didn't get fixed. Yes, I know people are still waiting for their round 1 hyperfuse keys. Like, I understand that there are issues that have risen in the past where some people might not be as trusted. GMK is a huge company though, and they're also working with great vendors. Um, and so, just it's okay. If you go into it going, hey, this is a problem, we need to fix it, everyone's more likely to be like, yeah, let's fix this problem. But if you go into it angry, then you're just going to start a fight with some random person on the internet who has nothing to lose from like, enjoying picking a fight with you over a misaligned letter on a piece of plastic. So, as we've talked, it's just plastic.
It's just plastic, dude.
It's just plastic, man.
But no, I mean, I think like you said, it's one of those things. GMK is not delaying this because they want to delay it. They're delaying it because they want to make it right. Um, they're delaying it because they weren't. I mean, we can pretty much almost with absolute certainty say they were not expecting to manufacture the amount of caps that they have been ordered this year. That's one of the things about the group buy model. It's harder to, like, you can't go into a year saying, okay, we have all these orders, pre-placed and we know this much revenue is coming in. It's just kind of like, we'll see. Let's hope. Let's plan and see how much we get. But when you have a year like this where you go from sets selling, the top set selling 500 base kits to the top set selling 3,000 base kits, and consistently a set a month is hitting 1,000 or more, it's definitely a big change, and you're going to go through those growing pains like Chewy talked about. You're going to have to adjust. You're going to have to make some changes. Take a look at your processes. Take a look at the people you've got. And don't blame designers. Like Chewy said.
Don't blame designers. Don't blame vendors. It's not their fault. They're not the ones making it. If you get the wrong order, yeah, that's their fault. But if you ordered space bars and novelties and a base kit, and one of the novelties is missing in the in the unopened shrink wrap, that is not the vendor's fault. The vendor's probably going to be the one getting most of the emails, and hopefully GMK is chill enough to be like, we're going to take care of shipping too, because what I would hate to see is they're like, all right, well, you've got 800 orders. Well, here's 800 escape keys. Have fun shipping this to everyone. And that just takes more time out of the vendor's day. So the vendors might even have to deal with this, and it's not even their fault. So this happens. Like, don't blame the vendor. If anything, send the vendor your love. Because I can guarantee you right now that UPass is more stressed out about waves right now, because he's going to get it, not be able to open it, and just kind of hope that, all right, well, I hope this works, because he's going into a tidal wave of people slashing open their boxes, tearing off the sleeve to just inspect the escape key to see. Now, I'm not going to be a barbarian about it, but I am very interested to see if I'm even going to open it, because that's still up in the air, and two, how Cyrus's looks and how everybody else's looks. So just divert the blame to some dude in Germany. But don't be angry, because that person probably doesn't have a mechanical keyboard, or if he does, then he's got the greatest selection of keycaps ever. But it's the you complaining to somebody that's not GMK is not going to do it. So
yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things. It's I'm sure there will be a form that comes out where you can, if you have an escape key that's messed up from waves, that you can just go in and say, it's me, this is my order number, here you go. And I'm sure what they'll do is they'll send that all to GMK, figure out how many keys they need, and then they'll get that and they'll send it and they'll take care of it.
Yep. And don't be that guy, by the way. Don't be that guy. We know that guy. The guy got a perfect escape key right here. You tell me I can get two? Don't be that guy.
Yeah, there's no need. Don't be that dude. What are you gonna do with an extra escape key?
Escape key.
But
on my Xeno, I need an escape here and an escape here.
Double escape. Um, yeah, just be chill. Let things happen. They'll work themselves out. We're not dealing with like some randos here. We're dealing with a company that knows what they're doing, has handled situations like this before, has made it right. I didn't even know I was going to get the other terminal salty key. It just showed up one day in a little envelope, and I was like, oh, okay.
Neat.
This is cool. I'm sure that'll probably happen with these escape keys. I'm sure it'll just show up one day, or I'll get an email from UPass and saying it's on its way, and I'm gonna be like, "What's on its way?" Because I'll forget.
And worth noting, like we're not sponsored by Canon Keys. Not sponsored. I used to do that all the time. We're not sponsored by Canon Keys. And we're not sponsored by Massdrop or Drop, whatever. So we're not saying, oh, don't blame the vendors because we're trying to protect something. Like you just genuinely shouldn't blame the vendors. But before we 100% take all of the blame off the vendors, we talked about something. Osiris and I talked about something I want to bring up. It has to do with specifically GMK waves, but a lot of people I've seen, and I guess the question of the minute is, if for those who don't know, GMK caps, since they are made in Europe, are going to get to European vendors a lot faster than American vendors. So we're seeing extras go up before America even gets confirmed shipment. So is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? And lastly, a lot of people of this, one of the companies, Candy Keys, I believe, said that 70% of their extras orders went to America, which means that there are people that likely might get their sets before America gets their sets.
I mean, okay, so we talked about this earlier. And so Candy Keys today posted on their Instagram that Mizu sets are going up. What is actually tomorrow? Today, technically, it would have gone up or will be going up at some point today. I don't know what time zone they're in, but they said 1900. So at some point, GMK Mizu has gone up extras from Candy Keys. And I think Dixie just got his like late last week, and is packing and shipping his currently.
No, and sorry, the extras is for waves today.
No, it's for Mizu.
No, it's waves, 100%. Because Mizu was the set that sold extras, and 70% of them went to America. So waves extras that have not even confirmed gotten to Canon Keys, who Canon Keys was the vendor for GMK waves, is about to go on extras sale before Canon Keys has received them or will be receiving them the same day. No?
Nope, you're wrong. Waves extras already sold.
Oh, so it's the other way around. They flipped it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mizu extras will be live at some point today, the same day of this video.
Oh, okay. Well, other way around, but yeah.
And they said, since I have it open now, they said, U.S. extras are going to be on Dixie Mech. Please order from them if you're in the U.S. Last time GMK waves sold out in a few minutes, with 70% going to the USA. Designed by Rinsuya. Shout outs to Rinsuya.
Well, that's even worse then, because that means waves extras.
That's what I'm saying.
Were sold a while ago, and they have waves anyway.
Yeah. So here's my thing. Okay, vendors, get together. You're all proxies for the same set. The only value that Candy Keys gets to shipping these sets out early or putting them up before America's go out is to get a benefit of extra people going towards it from America. In my opinion, this is the only benefit. They get the additional, like, exposure of being the first to have extras up. People are going to rush over there. A lot of people don't care about paying $20 in shipping. A lot of people don't care about paying the extra 20, $30 it is overall for shipping plus the European price. If they can get it, they'll get it because they know for America's, there's a chance that maybe they're not going to be able to get it from Dixie. Who knows how many he ordered? Who knows how many extras of waves UPAS ordered? Vendors, get together. Figure out a day. Say extras will go live on this day and have, just like the group buy, have a unified extras sale day.
There you go.
Problem avoided. Americas goes to America. EU goes to EU. And if you want to pay extra for whatever reason, you can go to EU. If you want to pay whatever extra for whatever reason, EU people, come buy them from Dixie in America.
What I was saying was, too, so I was like, just charge like $200 extra to ship to America.
Just put an automatic filter if it goes to US.
Come on, bud.
It's $400.
Let's go to US. Just give me the money. You want it? Sure.
Yeah, because
you have to pay twice as much for it.
I definitely appreciate the thought of, okay, these sets are allotted for EU. These sets are allotted for NA. Let's keep them there. That makes sense. I can appreciate that. But at the end of the day, people are going to do whatever the hell they want. So just put them all up at the same time. And then I feel like people are going to be less likely to go on to Candy Keys to buy sets from EU. The only reason they're getting them there is because they can get it early. They want to be the first to get that Reddit karma. They want to be the first to post it on their Instagrams. And I will say, as someone who gets on a group buy, it's a little bit frustrating that someone gets the dang group buy before I do from America. like if
someone who got an extra.
Yeah, like someone who gets an extra.
Yeah, you're like, what the heck? I could have just waited. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. That's just something I saw on Instagram that I was like. And that also sucks that 70% of those keycaps are now leaving EU, which mech market, that hurts mech market. So
yeah, sorry EU.
It happens. But yeah, to takeaways, don't get mad at GMK. I mean, you can get mad at GMK, but know that they'll fix it. Don't get mad at vendors.
Is it safe to say that GMK is not in trouble?
No, dude. They're bleeding.
They're bleeding.
Sell all your GMK sets right now. Get out. XDA is the set of 2020.
When was the last time we saw an XDA set? I think it was like Canvas round.
Anyways,
4.
we're sponsored by Dixie Mech. You can go to mechsondeck.dixiemech.com to pick up GMK DualShot. So be sure to go do that. Zap cables. Make some of the best cables. You get a DIY kit yourself, or you can wait for one of his runs and get one of the best made cables you will ever own. Last but not least, switchmod.net/mechsondeck, 4% off. Lube, keister switches. You get cute little stickers. Look at that. You can sticker up your cases, all that fun stuff. GMK Metaverse Round 2 coming next month. Be sure to be on the look.
Definitely. Check it all out. We will be streaming tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time. Come check it out. Chewy's going to be building something. Maybe a Baka.
Probably a Baka.
Probably a Baka. I'm sure he's like acting like all cool right now, but inside, his little child inside is just like freaking out about building the Baka. Finally.
Honestly, I was until I opened up like 18 more Bakas. It's like, it's like the ducks from the Disney thing where they have like, we want Christmas every single day of the year. And they're like, oh, it's the same toy.
But either way, come stop by.
I'm excited.
Say hi. Check out the Baka. If it's not the Baka, check out a Lubricante because it's cool.
It's gonna be cool either way. It'll be a cool build either way.
But and then we will be alive tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time with the guys from Key Cult, which is going to be a lot of fun. Definitely interested to hear about some fancy keyboards.
I should wear a suit.
I mean, I could. I just won't change after work.
Man, Wednesday, yeah, we're wearing sweatpants on Wednesday because my boss was like, sweatpants on Wednesday.
Man,
Living the high life.
I wish my boss would let me wear sweatpants any day.
So other than that, yeah, we've got some fun, some cool stuff coming up. Got some big changes that we will be announcing next week. We'll keep you updated. And yeah, as always, buy a switch tester.